Are you a beginner urging to dive into the realm of video editing but feeling a bit overwhelmed by all the options and tools at your disposal? Fear not, in this comprehensive beginner tutorial, I'll be taking you by the hand and guiding you step by step into this incredible universe of Adobe Premiere Pro. Whether you're a filmmaker, content creator, or simply someone who wants to share their stories through video, so I hope this video helped you. I'm Kylo, so let's not waste any time and get into this video. So obviously once you go ahead and open your Adobe Premiere Pro, you will have the option to create a new project. So you want to click on the new project. So once you go ahead and create yourself a new project, you just want to type in the folder's name, whatever the edit is, you want to go ahead and do that. For this, I will just make it I'll make it a house 4K footage. I'm just gonna go ahead and create that. So once you created yourself a project, the first thing you want to obviously do is you want to go ahead and export some footage. So for this one, I'm just gonna use a luxurious modern house. So go ahead and just all you want to do is just go ahead and drag your footage into the Premiere Pro, and that's how you're going to import your footage. So once you imported your footage, we want to head over to the sequence settings, and this is where we will be busy with all the sequence settings. So you will find your frame rate that you can change. You can put that on 60 frames. You can go ahead and change your frame size. For example, if your video is 4K, you can change that to 4K. We can also fiddle with the pixel aspect ratio. We can do all of the video things in here. We can also, with the audio, the sampling rate, in case your audio is much more higher, you can change that just in here. Also your preview file format, you can go ahead and change all these settings in the sequence settings. Now we will also find our workspaces into the Windows tab just here, and you can basically go ahead and find the best workspace that suits for you. For most beginner users or most users that just start off the back, you want to go ahead and just click on all panels, and you will find all the panels, which is basically the effects panel and everything. Now the timeline is where we're going to obviously use that a lot, since we're obviously going to play back the clip. So you can go ahead and I'll just mute this out. Now the timeline is basically this under part which will play your video, so you can move on to any specific time that you want to head over to. So if you can see, if I press enter, it will start playing the clip. What you can also do, if you want to just if you want to move everything time by time, like literally seconds by seconds, you can go ahead and press the right keypad on your keyboard, and that will move it. As you can see, it's moving literally frame by frame. And that's just if you're doing that mini adjustments, that would be a very good tool to use, so that you can just move it frame by frame. Now what you can also do is you can use the slider. You can either zoom it out or you can zoom it in, so that you can do the mini adjustments as well. Now heading over to the most essential tools that we're going to use in Adobe Premiere Pro. Now these are the most essential tools on the left hand side you're going to be using for Adobe, and then on your left you will find your library. Now your library is basically going to be all the footages that you put into this library. You can go ahead and put multiple files, multiple videos. So if you're working with big projects, you can go ahead and put loads of files in there, loads of videos, and you can just drag those videos into your timeline. So if you want to go ahead and make this video bigger, just so that you can preview it much more in a bigger scale, you can go ahead and click on this just here. Go ahead and right click on it, and this is basically the playback panel, so you can go ahead and check for yourself and just see what's actually going on into the footage. What you can also do is you can right click on the footage, and you can go ahead and put your playback resolution on full. If you want to go ahead and put it on a half a resolution and a quarter resolution, this will basically just drop the resolution, so that will make it less of a quality, and this will make it more less of a quality. Now let's actually move on to the essential tools. Now the selection tool is kind of simple. It does what it says. You can go ahead and select if you have multiple things in your timeline, you can go ahead and select these things. So just go ahead and select, and you can basically move your clip wherever you want it to go. That's basically the selection tool. Now the second most essential tool that we're going to be using is the C tool, which is the cut tool, and this is basically the tool where we're going to be doing cuts. So for example, if you want to cut this front part out and you want to let the clip start here, you can go ahead and press the C tool, and then you can press V on your keyboard, or you can just click on the selection tool, select that part, and click on delete, and then you can go ahead and just move it just like that. Also, when we talk about the cutting tool, this is called a ripple delete. If you want to do things much more quicker and you want to cut things much more quicker, you can go ahead and click on the cutting tool, and for example, let's just go ahead and cut this part out. So you want to go ahead and cut this out, click on your selection tool, and you want to go ahead and press shift on your keyboard and click delete, and that will go ahead and just ripple delete it. And that's basically the cutting tool. Also, another thing that you can do in your timeline is you can go ahead and drag this all the way up, and you can basically see your clip more now. So that's another thing that you can do. Now what you can also do with any clip that you have, you can go ahead and speed up any clip, and you can also slow down any clip. So let's go ahead and speed up a clip. So for example, if I want this part speeded up, let me just zoom in, and if I want this part speeded up, you can go ahead and click the cutting tool, cut that, and you want to right click on this, and you want to go ahead and click speed/duration. Now as you can see, here's the speed tool, so I will put this on 300. Also, the most important thing that you want to do is you want to change this frame sampling to optical flow. This just makes your speeding up much more smoother. Then you want to just click on OK, and you can see that we have it speeded up now, and it's much more faster. And that's how you speed up a clip. Now we're gonna go ahead and slow down a clip. So let me just click on there, cut it over, and cut this part as well. We right click on it, we want to head over to the speed, and let me put it on 50%, put it in optical flow, and just click on OK, and then we will have a much more smoother clip. And that's how you would go ahead and slow down any clip and speed up any clip. Now let's head over to the right hand side, which is called the effects tab. Your effects tab might be on a different side, but for most people, like I said, if you put it on all panels, it should pop up on the right hand side. So if you look on the right hand side in your effects tab, you will find video transitions. So as you can see, let me just find some transition in this video just there. So what I would do is I would click on this part, and I'll use my cutting tool, cut it. You first want to go ahead and cut it, then you want to head over, and I will use this film dissolve, and I'll put it on there. And what that's going to do is it's going to create some sort of transition. There you go. And that's how you basically create some transitions. Let me just find another one. You can head over to the sliding or the wiping, or one of that. You can go for this one, and it should do this side effect just like that. If you do want to speed up any transition, you can go ahead and click on the transition. This should be the transition, so you can drag it. If you pull it out, it will take much more longer and slower. If you pull it in, it should go much more faster. So just pull it all the way in if you want to speed it up, and you should get a faster effect. So let's try adding another effect that you can also use on this clip, which we're going to use is the blur effect. So we're going to put it on the clip, and it will basically blur your clip out. Now on your left hand side, you will find the properties of your effect, so you can go ahead and adjust your effect. It will be on the left hand side, all these stuff just here. You can also disable your effect, so you can see the difference, and just adjust by that. What I would do normally on these blurry effects, I will go ahead and add some text. So to do that, you want to go ahead and press T on your keyboard and just click onto the timeline, and that will create a text layer. Welcome. So let me just type out that. So what you can also do is you can also scale it down or scale it up, whatever size you would like it. You can go ahead and click on this drop down box onto the text layer, and you will find multiple things that you can do here. You can go ahead and change the font, also change the full color to a black, and you can also change the stroke color. So let me just put this on white and change the stroke color. We can put that on black. And also you have the option to add a background, a shadow, and many things on the text. For this clip, I'm gonna just add some shadow and put it on 100% transition. Just drop down the shadows like that. Then what you can also do is you can take the video transitions, and you can go ahead and put it on your text. There you go. Now you have some text just popping up there. Now what we can also do is we can add some audio to our footage. So what you want to do is you want to head over to your file where your audio is, and you just want to go ahead and just drag your audio, and you can just pull it to the timeline just like that. Now what we can also do with the audio, we can right click on our audio, we can head over to the audio gains, and we can also adjust our audio to make it softer, or we can make it very loud. It depends on what you want to do. So for this, just make it much more softer. You want to click on that. What we can also do is we can also speed up our audio by just changing the percentage. What we can also do is we can also reverse our speed, which will reverse our audio, which is a cool tool just to use sometimes though. We can also add effects to our audio, so there is some audio effects we can use, some reverb. So for example, if we need a boxy reverb, we want to click on that studio reverb, and then we can just mess around with some edits here, and we will find some things we can do, some reverb, and add on our audio and things like that. So there is a bunch of tools we can use on our audio as well. And what we can also do, just to see our audio much more clearer, we can go ahead and drag this all the way down, and there you go, you can go ahead and see your audio much more clearer. And that's just a simple thing that will help you if you're editing huge projects or you're focusing a lot on the audio. Now what we can also do is we can go ahead and color grade our footage. So to do that, you want to simply head over to your effects, then you want to go ahead and head over to your color corrections. Now the most basic tool that we use in this case is the geometric color. So once you drag your effects onto the footage, you want to go ahead and click on your footage, and you will find it on your left hand side. You want to head over to your basic corrections, and in here you will find your temperature to make it much more colder, and you can make it warmer. So there's those things you can do. Your saturation you can bump up just to make it a bit, you know, much more saturated. What we can also do is we can head it over to our creative, and we can also add some faded film. And what we can also do is we can bump the vibrance up a bit. So heading back over to the basic tool, play around with the exposure, the contrast. This you can as well use. So I'll put on 20%. Your highlights. So the color correction tools are basically the tools that are going to help you in color grading. As you can see, the difference are huge. So that's how it was before, and this is after. Now once you're actually done with your edit and you haven't added any effects to the whole project in a whole, what you can do is you can head over to your left hand side, and you can go ahead and just click on a new item. Click on that, and you can add a adjustment layer, and you want to put this on 60 frames or whatever your footage is shot in, and then you want to just click on OK. Then you can go ahead and drag the adjustment layer over your whole footage just like this. You can add any effect to this adjustment layer, and what this adjustment layer does, any effect you add to this layer, it will literally affect the whole edit in a whole. Then you don't need to every time add effect to each individual cut that you did, because you will need to do that and it's gonna waste a lot of time. So you just want to go ahead and create a adjustment layer and just add your effects to the adjustment layer, and now you don't have to waste that much time. Now for the last thing that you want to do is you want to go ahead and export your project. So to do that, you want to head over to your files, and you want to click on export. Then you want to click on media. We have multiple things that we can do, but the most important thing that we're going to focus on now is media, because you want to go ahead and export your media. Once we pop up here, you will find the file name. So you just want to go ahead and enter a name for your file. Then you can go ahead and you can also click on your location. So once you click on this, this is basically where you're going to export your file to. So if you want to put it on your desktop, just click on your desktop and click on save. Now for the presets as well, so put this on the highest bitrate, since this will just make your edit much more smoother and look much more better. Then for your format as well, you can go ahead and put it on H.264, and this is basically the MP4 format. There's multiple things we can also do. We can click on the video settings here, and we can go ahead and change the frame time. It's basically like the sequence settings, so we can go ahead and change the frame time. And we can also change the audio here. So if the bitrate we want to change, we can just change it just here. We can also change all these effects, so you can literally turn off the effects if you want to turn it off and export it raw, and then export the with effects after. So you can also do that. So once you actually got everything set, you want to go ahead and just click on export, and your video should be exporting just like that. But anyway, if you found this video helpful, please give it a like, and also subscribe to this channel if you want to see more beginner guides just like this. Anyway, I will see you in the next video. Peace.